Did you hear about the magnet school?
No. What is that?
Just one of the biggest debacles ever committed by a Trumbull first selectman.
I haven't heard about it.
Don't you read the paper?
No, I'm too busy. Why should I care?
Trumbull taxpayers and Trumbull students will be paying for this mistake for decades.
How can that be?
Well, the state legislature appropriated $126 million to build a regional, multi-magnet high school for Bridgeport on state-owned land in the southwestern corner of Trumbull.
Why did they do that?
It was part of a court-ordered settlement to reduce educational inequality in Connecticut's public schools.
That sounds like a good deal for Bridgeport, but how does it affect Trumbull?
In a lot of ways. For starters, the school will not only accept 1,000 students from Bridgeport, it will also take 500 students from 7 other communities in the area, including Trumbull.
But Trumbull already has a nice high school. Why would any Trumbull students want to go to this Bridgeport school?
The Fairchild-Wheeler Multi-Magnet High School will be a state-of-the-art school offering a 21st-century curriculum focusing on 3 areas: information technology, zoological studies, and science and aerospace. Local industries and institutions will be partnering to provide an exceptional, academically rigorous, educationally competitive program not available at our high school.
Sounds like a great asset for the town. How many Trumbull students will get to go to this amazing school?
Well, town officials originally negotiated a deal to allow 150 seats for Trumbull students at the magnet school.
Will Trumbull taxpayers have to pay to send our students to this new school?
No. As a matter of fact, the town could save thousands for each student we don't have to educate at Trumbull High. Even the transportation to the new magnet school will be subsidized by the state. Altogether, this would save taxpayers over $1 million a year.
Is Trumbull getting any other benefits from having this Bridgeport school in our town?
Well, the original agreement was going to bring in millions of dollars for Trumbull. $1 million in direct payments to Trumbull over 10 years. Millions to cover road upgrades to Old Town Road and Quarry Road. $300,000 to our fire department. And since the property is in Trumbull, the town would have made $750,000 in building permits.
So what is the problem?
Well, first Selectman Tim Herbst was not satisfied with this deal, and so he began to negotiate with Bridgeport and the state to get even more money.
Did Mr. Herbst have a lot of experience negotiating complex issues like this?
No, Mr. Herbst did not have any experience negotiating a complex deal like this.
So, what happened?
Well, Mr. Herbst's inexperience and arrogance led him to push Bridgeport and the state too far.
What happened?
Well, Bridgeport and the state had agreed to everything that Trumbull had demanded, but then Mr. Herbst asked for another $5 million for additional upgrades to roads and to our town emergency radio systems. This threatened to delay the project further, and if the school was not opened by a certain deadline, the $126 million state funding would be lost.
So what happened next?
The state had had enough of Mr. Herbst's delay tactics, so they decided to redraw the town lines, moving 49 acres where the school was to be built, from Trumbull into Bridgeport.
So the town of Trumbull got smaller?
Yes. There is now a 49-acre hole in the southwestern corner of Trumbull, which is now in Bridgeport.
I never heard of such a thing. What a disaster for Trumbull.
It gets worse. Millions of dollars that would have come into Trumbull as a result of the original agreement were now off the table. No money for road upgrades, no $1 million direct payment to the town, no money to upgrade our fire department, no $750,000 in building permit fees, and we lost 100 seats at the new school for Trumbull students. All told, the town of Trumbull lost close to $20 million over the next 10 years.
That's terrible.
Not only that, but since the school is no longer in Trumbull, the town of Trumbull no longer has control of the construction project. Our Planning and Zoning and Inland Wetlands Commissions no longer controls issues like blasting, traffic congestion, safety and environmental concerns. Now our only option for addressing town grievances is to take legal action against our neighbor, Bridgeport.
So what did Mr. Herbst get in return for this land swap?
The right to negotiate in good faith with Bridgeport for the right to lease a 20-acre parcel of land adjacent to Quarry Road. This land is deed restricted, much of it is wetlands, and the main parcel currently houses a parks and recreation garage for the town of Bridgeport, raising concerns the land may be polluted.
What did Mr. Herbst think of this deal?
Mr. Herbst said he was, and I quote, very pleased, very happy. He called the land swap a win-win for Trumbull, Bridgeport and the state.
No wonder you called this one of the biggest debacles ever committed by a Trumbull first selectman. Are there any other examples of Mr. Herbst's poor leadership?
Yes. There is the North Nichols Sewer Project, and the cell tower debacle. But those are subjects for another cartoon video.